The Easeway Show.
Yeah, my station, baby.
Is bringing you the hottest music.
Put it on, put it on.
You're tuned into the Easeway Show.
You damn right you tuned into the Easeway Show, because it's Friday, 7 o'clock, baby, and you know what time it is. Classic moments right here on this show. It's always a classic moment. You don't know what you're gonna get. And that's what I like about this show. It's not scripted. This ain't no Clear Channel shit. This is Easeway, man. I see it no other way. The Easeway Show. Your boy E-dawg, man. And today, special edition of the Easeway Show. And I'll tell you why. Because we got my boy Kokane, the world's biggest featured artist. Yes, that's facts. Is coming on the show today, man. We're going to talk about the past, the present, what it was like working with the legendary Eazy-E and other big artists out there. He's touched Puffy. No homo. He didn't touch Puffy, but he touched some Puffy music. I gotta fix that, man. You can't say those words today without having a true meaning behind it, right? Anyway, man, we'll be back, man, with my boy Kokane. We're gonna chop it up, all right? Easeway, I see it no other way. It's the Easeway Show, Friday, 7 o'clock, baby. Share this.
New York with my jewelry untucked. You out of your mind if you ever try to stick 'em. Stick 'em, ha ha ha, stick 'em. That's Cool Rock, original Fat Boys. Stop playing. And I'm back with the West Coast OG Kokane, the real hip hop. From day to dawn, when Kool Herc started this in the park. Africa Bambaataa at the Roxy, y'all. Salute to the one Grand Wizard Theodore. Poppers and lockers, let me see what you got. It's the boy Kokane and my name's Kool Rock. Yeah,
Kool Rock ski, I'm not for cool in the gang. In California we bang, and we be serving them thang. From the left of the coast, we be doing the most. Champagne for breakfast, so let's take a toast to New York City, where hip hop was created. We took it back to Cali and radio played it. Hitting them switches, keeping it gangster. Dipping through the city, knocking fat boy bangers. Back in the 80s when it was real in the field, I had a fresh Seville and I was dressed to kill. Went to the party, the homies is bucket. Some niggas is faded, some niggas is thugging. Grab a bar, little mama, get your two-step on. The breakdance and pop lock to your favorite song. Man, I miss those days like Rick the Ruler. Take it back to the past and bring it back to the future.
It's a trip to see how hip-hop changed. The game became strange and just ain't the same. We used to have fun at the hip-hop jams. Grab the microphone and watch the boy go ham. I got my old school feelers, fresh in my Adidas. I'm a real B-boy rocking that big drum beat. A microphone massacre, I'm ready for battle. Part the Red Sea and move the crowd like cattle. Get your elbows off the table, this ain't a fable. Shout out to the architects of rap that made it able. All you new booty MCs better do your homework. How you love hip-hop and don't know Kool Herc. Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. Sugar Hill Gang kept the party alive. Curtis Blow, to name just a few names. I rock the Kool Rock ski, I'm not cool in the game.
Hush, little baby, don't say a word. This is real hip-hop, so fuck what you heard.
Love alert.
All this scratching is making me itch. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. This is real hip-hop, so fuck what you heard.
Love alert.
Talk real B-boy, shake it.
Yeah, what up? It's your boy Kool Rock from Distance, aka the Fat Boys from East New York, Brooklyn. And you're rocking with my man DJ Dice Brooklyn in the 1200 workout room. Yo, Dice, play that new single of mine, man. Featuring my boy Kokane.
In the place to be.
Says lonely at the top. Rich man problems, huh? Nigga here low quiet, but you can't snatch these pomegranates all up in my backyard. These niggas here hustle on Instagram. Talk about your gibberish. Say
Same old shit with a broken down toilet. I don't do them nigga rest. Now I don't hang with snakes because it's bad for business. Sipping coffee and cocoa. Taking shit and I'm laughing at these homos on the promo. Scrolling through the social. These niggas talking shit with the way I'm subliminal. But you ain't moving nothing here, partner. I'm cut from the curse with the OG spots. You know how we get down in Pomona. Top hat, put some yak for my niggas in the dub. These niggas be on they periods. They be on the rag, I ain't talking about a drag. I ain't even hearing it. All that hating, you can blow that your ass. Stuck to the G code. I did somersault to take it up the booty out. I stuck to the G code. I did somersault to take it up the booty out. Pop a Newport. Hand me one of them things to kill John Wayne. I got dope like Scott Storch. The nigga I'm slanging legal kind, but mine's all lyrical. Say no to drugs, say yes to me. It's gonna take a miracle. Now that the niggas on top, it's so lonely. Backdoor Lil Joe. I ain't never been a nigga back down from a fade dog. Good with the fofo. Make a phone call. Hey ass smoke bro. Hey ass smoke bro. Hey ass smoke bro. Reel it up, reel it up, reel it up. I'm a made man, nigga. Soaked up the game of when a nigga was a puppy. Pit bull, nigga. Compared to cocaine, you niggas is guppies. Fuck your feelings. When I was doing bad, niggas wasn't around. But I took it like a champ, nigga. Started from scratch, 10 toes down. Bounce back like a motherfucker. At the time I celebrated myself from all bust. These niggas can't cut mustard. They can't handle the weight, so fool, I don't trust you. Nigga job. Don't ask me for dough when you call my line. The fuck I look like? Giving you anything, I work hard for mine. You can do the same thing. But the problem is niggas sit around and complain. But the problem with your niggas sitting around complying. But the problem with your niggas sitting around and complying. Now they looking funny, man. Now they looking funny, man. Funny, man, funny, man. Now they looking funny, man. Now they looking funny, man. Funny, man. In the making, King Coca, digging in y'all chest cavity. Still, nigga. Still.
Friday, 7 o'clock p.m. So you know what time it is. It's the Ease Way Show with your boy E-dawg, and I got a special guest on this show. We're dedicating this whole show to my man right here because it's his work ethics is so big that you can't just do like a segment. It don't make any sense. I got my man Kokane on the phone. What up, Coke?
What's happening with it, D?
Man, same old soup, just reheated. You got it, I need it. I'm sitting here, man, and I was going through your bio earlier, and I was like, man, you know, I want to get into some talks of things that, you know, the average interview don't always talk about. But I'm going to start it out real basic because you got a lot of work, man. I'm looking at this Wikipedia earlier today, and I'm like, damn, this man is legendary, like Hall of Fame legendary, because there's nobody out there right now that you can compare to Kokane. So what I want to ask you first is, do you remember your first feature that was mainstream?
Yeah. Above the Law, and received my first platinum record.
Above the Law.
Yeah, Above the Law, Black Mafia Life. That was like my first feature on that project, on some songs, on a few songs.
Yeah.
And my first platinum record was NWA writing Eazy-E's 10 Gangsta Commandments for Appetite and Food Destruction.
I remember that. You wrote that.
Yeah, I wrote Eazy-E's part just as well as introducing a character called Sweet Talk, which years later you heard Sweet Talk on the East Siders, and you heard him on the Snoop stuff and the gang of songs, but it first started with Above the Law and NWA.
Man, no doubt. All right. You know what I find crazy, man, because I see this a lot in California with Money B, just people that I know personally. It's amazing to find out that they actually, their roots is in California, but they came from somewhere else. I was reading your bio and it said that you were born in the Bronx, New York. And then you relocated with your family to California. But what was crazy was, I know about your dad, but I didn't know your mom was in the entertainment business.
Yeah, both my parents was in the entertainment business. From my mom's side, we come from a musical background. Our cousin is Charlie Bird Parker by blood. And on my dad's side, he was one of the most incredible arrangers, writers, orchestrator, directors in the game. Even some of the most incredible songs ever heard by Motown, my dad was involved into it. And his name is Jerry Buddy Long Sr. You know, so we always, and plus my uncle is Willie Hutch, because my cousin is Gregory Hutchison, aka Cole 187 from the group Above the Law. So it's kind of like we had the cheat code, E.
Yeah, you did.
Music was embedded into our 23 chromosomes. I can remember walking into a studio at 5 years old, and the board looked like a spaceship. You feel me? So we was kind of like already being prepped to be star childs.
That's right. It was in you, not on you.
Yes, sir. Honest.
89. You were over there at Ruthless. Now, what came first, Above the Law, Kokane, or both of you guys, the group and you at the same time? Was it like a migrate over to Ruthless Records, or did Above the Law come first and then you kind of came in after that?
Well, Above the Law came first. And it was a cat by the name of Larry Goodman, aka Laylaw, who's a contributor member of NWA, who had, written for Miss Chalet, and his brother was the DJ of Above the Law named Gomac. Okay. So it was a cross reference between, South Central and Pomona cats that were hustling. You know what I mean? So when they linked in with them in '88, they also linked in with Dre and linked in with Eazy-E, rest in peace. And they had did a song. 80% of the album, the demo was actually recorded and produced by Cole 187. But once they got to Ruthless Records through Laylaw, Dre put his 2 cents in it to beef the project up. Okay. And that was like Living Like Hustlers, you know what I mean? That was very prolific album. That was the first time you heard words like chronic. You heard words like ballin'. Yep. Well, that was introduced to our platform. You heard words like G-Funk, etc. Yes. So that's the first time Above the Law got put on. In 1989, I recently linked back in with my cousin because we had separated. He went his own way doing his thing, and I went my own way doing my thing. But when we connected, he made good on his promise, and he said, man, I want to take you under my wing because I feel, at that time, my name was called B-Boy J Golden. Okay. That was the era where we used to call ourselves B-Boy. Yes. And he said, man, I want to take you with me. I'm with Ruthless because I seen that video already, and I was like, oh, wow, these dudes just boys in the hood. I was digging their shit. And I'm like, y'all with them? That was when, you know, the big letters was at the bottom of Murder Rap.
Yeah.
That was the first single being put out, Murder Rap. And, you know, after they finished their stuff in 89, I was next on the list. So I did a 3-song demo in Pomona, California at this famous Hot Track studio that me, Above the Law, Sugar Free, you know, that was our first Humble Surroundings recording here. So I did a 3-song demo. Shout out to Laylaw and Hutch. They shouted to Easy. And it didn't take long for me to get signed. The rest is history because Eazy-E felt like, damn, as controversial, your name is the most controversial name now because NWA now it's Kokane.
Yeah, and it was the 80s. Yeah.
When people hear your music, man, they're going to trip out because you sound so similar like George Clinton, Rick James, Curtis Mayfield, and you be busting. So Ruthless Records felt like they had something very controversial because they love controversy, and they felt they had something just really extremely different with Kokane.
And they did. So 1994, I had a meeting with Relativity with Mix and my boy Ricardo Frazier. We walked in the building and they had pictures of you all over the damn place. And that was the first time I really got hip to you. That's when I was like, yo, who is this cat? Like, you know, you had the hazel eyes, no homo, and you had the fur coat, and the picture was kind of like just you, real big, right? And we were trying to get a distribution deal for Mix's label because I wasn't no longer gonna do a deal with Rick Rubin. And I was like, man, who is this cat? Like, it was a big deal to them. You had just came over there. What I wanted to know is, because you were affiliated with Ruthless, and I know Ruthless had a deal with Relativity back in the days. Did you go solo at that point and go do a deal directly with Ruthless? I mean, not Ruthless, but Relativity, or did you do that through Ruthless?
No, a lot of times people think a lot of times people heard my stuff. They, you know, either heard me on my second album, which was 1994, Funk Upon a Rhyme release. That was the second album. The actual first album came out in 1991, a year later after Above the Law's Living Like Hustlers. Yeah. Which Eazy-E was considered a West Coast Russell Simmons at that time.
Yes, he was.
Nobody wasn't doing that. He had three, he had a group, Above the Law, and he had two development groups, which was Dr. Dre's Poor, Broken, Lonely, and it was Kokane. So once we got put on there, it was crazy, E, because everybody was hyped on Kokane. I had a cut called Nickel Slick Nigga, and once we were getting ready to put it out, at that time, FCC laws really wouldn't permit them to say the name Kokane. So Epic Records kind of got scared and changed it to Who Am I? So when people were doing your Abbey Roads and doing this, you know what I mean? I mean, Invited Brown and
I love her.
Tried to, you know, push it out there so it could be, you know, cocaine. That means warning, listening, may become addicting. And we was playing off that name like, this is dope. This is the dopest name, dopest funk you ever heard. Yeah. But see, the FCC laws wasn't permitted, so they changed it around to Who Am I? And it didn't really hit critic acclaim like my second album, Funk Upon a Rhyme. But that was a good thing, because those doors being shut was actually a blessing for me, E. Yeah. Because, you know, it made Eric, it made Eazy-E, it made Dre, made the whole crew Above the Law, made us very upset. And that was the reason why Eazy-E said, well, I'm not going to have Epic Records no more. I'm just going to take my business somewhere else. You see what I'm saying? And during that time of him taking it somewhere else, you know, 91 came and they said, man, well, we going to put you on the NWA album. You know, fuck this. The radio don't want to play you. We want you to do that character called Sweet Talk. So I did the character. Well, all right, y'all, across the EC Compton watch. They know we know to walk through the shadow of real niggas. So I should fear no man or no motherfucking plan. So they was like, wow. And then Hutch put me on a lot of stuff. And this was all during the time of like 91, at the same year where Snoop where Warren G brought Snoop Dogg and E-dawg after he came out of the armed service to audition for Above the Law. Because originally, during that time, we was also managed by Suge. And this was before the Death Row days, all in 91. So Snoop and them, they auditioned and we was going to put them on. But we had contractual duties to finish up Above the Law stuff. And whoa,
this is news. So Snoop Dogg was would have been a candidate for Ruthless?
Yeah, absolutely. To Above the Law. But see, we were all tight because me and Warren G used to stay with Hutch.
Yeah.
In Kokane, California in 1989. Yes, sir. So they knew our flavor, they knew our get down. So in 91, this is the same year, they all did their thing. And after we finished the Niggas for Life project, Eva for Zagging, there were being contractual disputes between all of us and Ruthless at the time. Now, we were all going to leave. Yes, we were going to leave. Because the contracts wasn't correct. And it wasn't so much on Eazy-E's fault because Eazy-E got duped too.
Yeah.
Because when Eazy-E found out the last minute that not only, people were double dipping, they would sell so many records over here and then double dip over there, overseas or somewhere. You know what I mean? We were all getting duped. And Eazy was going to make it right because he was going to get rid of Jerry Heller. This was 91. So 91, at the same time, Dr. Dre, we were all still friends, and we still friends to this day. But back then in 91, Dr. Dre heard some of the Black Mafia life that we did on Above the Law. And he said, "What's that shit y'all doing, Hutch?" He said, "We call it G-Funk. This is what we do. This is G-Funk." This is 91. So months go by, and then we stayed with Eric because we negotiated our contracts because, Eric loved this artist. He wanted to make it right with Dre. He wanted to make it right with all of us. But see, Dre and Suge was already set on leaving because they seen Q was the first actual smart motherfucker to read contracts and was like, I can't do this. So we stayed with Eazy. They left, 92 come. My single that was on the first Who Am I Kokane album in 91 got put on the Deep Cover soundtrack in 92.
Yes, I seen that.
So it was all cool.
Yeah.
But then we found out, that the poison was spread and they went up and just dissed us for no reason in 92. And we like, wait a minute. We were saying to ourselves, like, this Chronic album sounds real similar to the Black Mafia Life album.
Yeah.
So we couldn't put the Black Mafia Life album out yet. We had to put it back months later.
Oh, wow.
And this was all happening 91, 92, the Deep Cover. Then Snoop is discovered because Warren G took a tape over at the end of 91 that everything, Dre done left already. Ruthless. We didn't renegotiate our contract, but Warren G took Snoop and E-dawg over to a little get down function, and Dr. Dre knew that Hutch was working with Snoop Dogg.
Oh, wow.
Warren G
this is crazy.
So Dr. Dre personally called Hutch and said, "Man, I got this kid over here. Man, he's incredible freestyler, man. His name's Slim Snoop. Warren G brought him over to us, and Hutch is the one, and Dr. Dre is the one that said to Hutch. Dr. Dre said, man, you think it's cool to work with him? I know y'all was working with him. I know y'all doing cocaine and everything over here." Hutch was like, Hutch wasn't no hater. He said, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Look, that kid, go.
Yeah.
That landed Snoop's career.
This is crazy. This is exclusive news right now, right here, man.
So, going back then, 93, then what you call discovers. Okay, it's the breakup. Ruthless and Death Row. They discovered the Dog Pound because we didn't leave. We negotiated our track. Just say if we didn't negotiate our track, our contract with Eazy-E, the first people would have been on Death Row was Above the Law and Kokane. But we negotiated. So going to 93, Eazy-E was riding. We was riding like I was riding. We discovered Bone Thugs and Harmony. Bone Thugs and Harmony. One day, he said, man, Eazy said, I got this group. And Hutch was in the office at that time. They was rapping over the phone. And Crazy, I think he was rapping or something. And he said, Eazy was like, I'm going to sign them. And he said to Hutch, what you think? He's like, hell yeah, sign them. That
amazing.
Bone Thugs and Harmony career.
Amazing.
See what I'm saying?
So Hutch was so
Crazy Bone. You can look right now, and he tell you that same story.
The thing that I'm getting is Hutch played a big part with Eazy-E trusted his eardrums, his talent.
He was the liaison.
Yes, he was.
He was just as important as Dr. Dre was. He's, if not more, because we stayed the longest at Ruthless Records. Everybody else.
Yeah, never heard no bad stories about you guys leaving E. And I remember the funeral documentary and all that stuff. You was all through it. Like your voice was tattooed on that documentary. Now let's go back a little bit, a little further back than that. So tell me a little about the Hood Mob and who was in it.
Well, that was a year like the 90s was the golden era.
Okay,
that was the era. Let me just finish that out. 19. Also, a dear beloved brother, who's one of the most prolific artists ever lived was Tupac Shakur. That was our little brother.
Damn.
In 91, he used to come around because we had mutual business managers, which was Atrium.
I know Atrium.
Digital Underground.
Yep.
Yeah. Shout out to Atrium. So Ruthless Records and Atrium used to do a lot of business.
Really?
And yeah, so when he was getting put on, he had the Gummy. They did the same song.
Yeah.
And Tupac was the first feature he had outside of his own camp was Above the Law.
Yeah.
And that was the first person that called the style of music we created on record on the Black Mafia Life album called G-Funk. He said, I'm from the G-Funk.
What year was that? What year was that?
That was the year we had to put it after. We had to put the Black Mafia Life
that got pushed back
after the Chronic.
Yes, this is crazy.
So that's why he was saying I'm from the G-Funk, but y'all can call it what you want, because we felt like at that time, now everything cool. We went on years later to create some more magic and shit. But at that time, we was like, man, fuck that, man. Y'all, that's blatant bite.
Easy.
Words, everything. Ball and everything.
Yeah.
At that time. And you can catch us. Your audience can Google up Kokane featuring Tupac and Code 187 at the Jamaica House. He still had it on his Nefertiti chain. He was around us when we was doing all the same gang and the Nickerson Gordons with Mike Concepcion. That was unheard of.
It's my dude.
He always used to come down here and was influenced. He either used to fuck with us, Above the Law, or Eazy-E. And the original Thug Life was going to be, everybody in Thug Life was also going to be Above the Law too, because that's what we called our conglomerate back then.
Man, this is crazy. So Tupac was introduced to LA and working with you guys way before the stories come out that like he was some new dude to LA, like LA turned him out. So
he was messing with Above the Law and cocaine. He'll always say that. Last time I seen Pac, I was supposed to be with him out there in Vegas, but I had contractual agreements because then, Eazy-E died 95, next year was coming, so I had a deal. Me and Yella, he had a project called One More Nigga to Go, and we did a song called This Is for the E in remembrance of the homie.
It was on that was on the documentary, right?
Yeah. And then I had to do For Riders Only, which was a deal through Scotty Brothers at that time. Shout out to Cool Dre. We did the deal, shot that through there. And when I leaped back up with Pac in 96, me and Spice One was driving down the street. We were standing at the Mondrian. We just got through doing something for the Ant Banks Project, THWA or something like that.
I remember that.
And we went up. We was off Sunset Plaza, of course, at the big homie spot, Ice T's, and we did a song called "You Got the Game Twisted Up and Tangled, Baby." And then we all did that. So we go down the street and we stand at the Marjorie, but we get in traffic. And Caffeine was with us at that time, and we see the homie Pop. We was like, who's that little peanut head riding in the back of that Rose? You know what I'm saying? We pulled to the side. We was like, Pop. He was like, yo, good Spice. What's up, my nigga? Pull over right here. So we pull over. You know, we have a little spot upstairs. You know what I'm saying? And we got a little, couple little bad ones around at that time, you know what I mean? So he go in the room, handle his business, come back out and say, man, I want you to come to my house. So I was like, where you live? He said, you stay on Sherman Oaks. So we go, we'll go to Sherman Oaks to the Valley. And I can walk in the room, I see Gaddafi, rest in peace. I see Idi Amin. I see Napoleon Muta, brother Muta. I see them. So I'm on, he's like, come in, right? So I see a piano. He was like, nigga, we finna go to the studio. He was giving me the whole rundown. Like, nigga, I'm finna start this shit called One Nation. I got Machiavelli Records. And he said, nigga, a Butler Law, cocaine, Butler Law. Y'all gonna be perfect for this. Nigga, come to this song, man. I want you to work on this song. Wow. So I'm playing the piano, and I'm playing the song No Pain, No Gain. And he's just like, oh, man, that was one of his favorite songs. Was No Pain, No Gain on the Funk Upon a Rhyme 94 Ruthless release, right? So he was like, nigga, let's take this energy up there. So we go to a studio called Can-Am Studio. Can-Am. Yep. We go to Can-Am Studio, and he got this song. He said, I want to touch on the song, like, you know, how fame is crazy. So we getting the shit together, and the engineer kept fucking up. The engineer was 2 seconds on getting his ass beat. Yeah. And last time he got it right, so we did a song called Fame. Something we all adore, something we dying for. Stuck in this pain, nothing but pain. Searching for fortune and fame. Me, Spice One, The Outlaws, and Tupac. That's out right now. You can actually Google it. So months go by, and going back to, like, I had contractual agreements because I had a new deal through Scotty Brothers, me and Yella. I couldn't go. So the night when it happened, he legit called me the next day because I was at the office. The office was in Santa Monica, California. That's where most of the offices is at. Century City, Santa Monica, right? Yeah. So he legit said, man, the homie gone. I said, what you talking about? Something legit? That's my family. Shout out to Be Legit. It was like, nah, man, he gone, man. So I said, what? So I turned on the news. Oh, just wow. Man, and my whole, here I am going back to, like, it just reminded of Easy. Because when someone passed, all kind of memories come up of other people that passed, right? Yeah. So it just put me through a wind, man. Like, here we are again. Two of the most incredible artists, and they gone. And they gone. So during that time, the contract was over with. I fulfilled my obligations by doing the maxi single, me and Hutch, called For Riders Only, as well as doing This Is For The E with Yellow over there, Scotty Brothers. And I had left it, and the business was so crazy because of Easy passing. Those assets were frozen, bro. When Ron Sweeney and Tamika Wright got a hold of it, no checks was coming out. And I'll say that for the record.
Wow. So everybody was just on pause.
Everybody was just like in dilemma. So I used to just go to studios. I find out what cats at and go to studios, and I ain't putting no extras on it, my nigga. It is what it is. 10 times out of 10, they say, man, put that up. If it ain't a Short, if it ain't E40 or whoever, or Brother Lynch or whoever, and it snowballed because, the Chicanos, started really picking up man, we really love Kokane because we had a big ass fan base with Chicanos over there at Ruthless Records, because Eazy-E was the first one to really put some hardcore Sureños, Chicanos on from Brown Side to Kid Frost.
Yeah.
So people looked at Ruthless Records and Kokane and Above the Law different. We had a gigantic Chicano fan base, still to this day. But man, I was hungry, man. And plus, I had few kids there. Yeah. So I didn't want to go backwards and sell dope, and I had to just use my voice. Man, and people for some reason through the '90s just
they could do a movie. They could do a movie on you and get all the bottom barrel of what's been going on in LA for the past 35 years and get the truth, because what I'm hearing right now is never something we hear in these movies or these documentaries. The source, you sound like you guys are the source of a lot of things. So real quick, man, tell me about Buddy Boy Entertainment and a little bit about who's on it right now. I know that's your record label, right? But do you have
Buddy
other
Boy
artists?
Entertainment. So, this is an encyclopedia, so I'm gonna try to run through this fast. Okay. Going back up into 1999, I was with some cats in 1998 called Street Institute, some Pomino Block Crips. Okay. Well, they were being investigated because they were also on ID and First 48. They were responsible for jacking millions and millions of dollars of computer chips and truck and freights. You know what I mean? This is for the record now, so it's not like I ain't. Yeah. Nigga ain't far from the snitch, but they got caught up, and everybody basically got caught up, and I had to go do my own thing. But it was a cat by the name of Half Dead that used to work with us over there at Street Institute in Upland, California. Okay. And of course, he's mutual friends with Snoop. Mm-hmm. And I think that's
okay, that Half Dead, that's what I was thinking. Okay.
Yeah, that's Nate's cousin. So he shot a kite to Snoop, and by then, Snoop he was in the no limit, so he wasn't doing the death row thing. Mm-hmm. So we was like, shit, man, we knew each other before. He was actually fans of mine, Snoop. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, we squashed the beat. So he stayed like 15 minutes down from Upland, which is Claremont, California, which is considered the backyard of Pomona. Mm-hmm. Right? So we mixed it up. We started talking about the good old times. And when he used to call me in Rancho Cucamonga, where I lived in Deer Creek, and we started mixing it up, how everything was. And it just was like, man, this is my little bro, man. Like, we gonna link it in. So the first song we did is a song called Off the Snoop Dogg Presents the East Siders, because it was a new group he was bringing together called the East Siders. Yeah. So we did dun 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 oh dun dun.
Oh yeah. That's the joint.
Yeah, we redid that, and it just kept going, and it gave me a chance to reconnect back with Big Bro Dre. And then I hopped on LA Niggas on the Chronic 2001 and did the Last Meal 8 songs. I was only supposed to be on 2 songs, but Snoop knew that G-Funk sound and where
there you go, the authentic. That's authentic. Okay.
Yeah, so during that time, my name was on fire, man. Chronic 2001. Besides all the '90s stuff, I linked in with Puff Daddy, Busta Rhymes, Jadakiss, Prodigy, DMX, and I just started really letting my wings flap. But what goes up must come down, because at that time, in 2004, the beginning of the end of the traditional way of pushing records was being ushered out through the internet. So that's why you don't see your Tower Records and shit.
Now at this time, this was 2000. When did you start Buddy Boy Records?
2004.
Okay, so you started Buddy Boy after that, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I originally had a record called Burnt Out Records.
Okay.
But I didn't like that name. You feel me? Yeah. Because a nigga ain't burnt out. So I was like, nah, we don't need to do that. So 2004 hit. We signed a distribution deal through Doghouse It was at MCA. It was for the Doggy R Stars.
Wow.
It was Toya Williams. It was Superfly. It was E White, and it was Kokane. We did a song called Night Loach. I'm from the Trey Myself. That's from my hood. Right?
Yeah.
But we didn't know that MCA was going to file Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Damn.
So that's why you don't see MCA. So when that happened, 2005, 2006 hit, then it was like, shit, dog, I need the rest of this bread. And he wasn't really responding because, nigga, that's all money to the pocket, man. The motherfucker filed Chapter 11, he gonna take those millions and pocket it.
Yeah.
So I gave Doghouse an inducement letter because there was a breach of contract because I only got 80 bands at that time when I was supposed to get a little bit, way more than that. But I knew the game, you know, I mean, you know, that's money to the pocket.
Yeah.
So I went my own way, did an album with some cats from Pomona in 2006 called Painkillers, and did another project called Take It Back to the Clap with a white boy named Fingers, who's real big right now. You know what I mean? And it came out, did good, but in 2007, by the end of 2006, I wasn't making no big cake, so I had to go back to flipping them, you know.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
And I got caught up in a punk ass county lid, and I was like in jail, my nigga. I was like, I kept hearing Buddy Boy because my middle name is Buddy and my daddy name is Buddy, and it just popped up in my head, Buddy Boy Entertainment. And when I was sitting on my bunk, my nigga, I was like, here in Seattle. Then I'd be in the dorm where all the fellas was at looking at TV, and I'd come on the movie Old School, right?
Yeah.
And I kept hearing niggas talk about Seattle commercial. So that's why I was like, okay, Lord, it's time to move up here.
Spiritual movement.
A lot of people don't know my connection with the Northwest.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, my grandmother from my dad's side, who's half Hawaiian, is from Seattle.
What?
Yeah, so my connection with the Northwest ain't just, oh, this is a stranger. Oh, out here coming. No, I used to come out here long before some of you brothers talk about what is he doing out here. What you mean? What you doing out here?
I thought it was Jay Silver in them. I never would have thought you had roots here.
It was Jay Silver because I did business with them, but
that's
it was
right.
far more.
You was already touching our turf before that.
I was already touching the turf before I decided to come out here. I mean, last time we came out here was over 20-something years ago doing Above the Law stuff. So I was already out here.
Wow.
Yeah. But when I linked in with
Silver,
John Silver, shout out to John Silver because they've been a blessing to me, him and G-Dub. And shout out to my boy Red too. You know what I mean?
Love Red.
They brought me up here, and I still had, you know, some things to clean up myself, some issues. You know, everybody gotta, you know, walk through that line. You know what I mean? But they brought me out here. We did an incredible project, and for some reason, it did not come out.
For real?
It did not. Man, we've been sitting on the project. We got everybody from Jadakiss to
I remember you working on that record. That never came out?
Just didn't. It's not really on John. It's on the other cat that, you know, the Mormon brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, not dissing nobody, but they just sat on the project. And that was like, shit, how long was that? That was like,
that was
like 12,
bro.
13 years ago.
Yeah.
So I already had my company while I was to fulfill my contractual duties with High Power.
So you already had Buddy Boy. Yeah, that's right.
Already had Buddy Boy.
Yeah.
So it didn't work out. We still talk and we still plan to put it out because you can't put no expiration date on dope ass music.
Yeah.
It's dope. I don't care if it's been out 20 years ago. It's gonna be dope today.
Yeah.
So we started that with my wife, and it's been about 14, 15 years. We've been having the company. And it's been good because we wanted to create a company primarily for our children
to
have a staple
That's dope.
So when some of the kids are handed down the baton, they ain't got to worry about some of the things that Pop went through that they'll never have to go through. But then we're here, and I always tell any independent, because you got to realize if it's coming from my mouth, you should listen to it, because here's a person that's telling you, that's a multi-platinum artist telling you this. So I have a sense of what's going on. And it's like I was telling people back then, man, y'all should pick up on Prince, man. The .com shit is gonna be cracking. The .com shit is gonna be cracking. People would laugh at me. Now those same people that's laughing and scrounging around like, oh, because everybody's poking their chest off on streams that you just not getting paid for properly.
Wow.
We here, Buddy Boy Entertainment. My daughter has a project. Shout out to AK. Shout out to Young Colombiana. Anissa Long is her real name.
She dope.
And we, it's good, E, because it's like after 30 plus years of making professional records, God blessed me enough. And shout out to the fans, kept me alive, along, of course, with my wife and children. But to be able to grow as an individual 30 plus years later, it's just amazing in itself, because that's the point of staying consistent.
Staying consistent gives you no expiration date. I tell people that all the time.
When you stay consistent, there's highs and lows in everything you do. Everybody got their chance to shine. It's just like you will never have in the history of the NBA one player just winning it every year for the next 10 years. So you gotta have that type of mentality that, hey, as long as I'm growing, I'm not in the rat race with nobody. I don't have to be in bumper to bumper traffic. I created my own lane.
There you go.
And that's what years later.
There you go.
And I say this with all carefulness, brother. It was a blessing of God and my family, and the simple fact that, hey, no one can take what God put inside you. It was in me already from the time I came out my dad's nutsack. And it will continue to flow on and inspire the next generation well after years that I'm gone.
That's right.
And that's what Kokane stand for. Like, hey, if you understand the dynamics of coming from rich musical history, I'm like, damn. As well as not living in my daddy's shadow, because that was the greatest thing my pops, Jerry Buddy Long Sr., told me. He said, I created all this stuff over here, but he said, what's inside you, Jerry? He said, never live in my shadow. Create your own.
Ooh, that's that old school talk, man. They didn't like that. They didn't like that up under somebody's arms. They wanted you to go get yours and bring it back to the nest. Man, you've done a lot of work, man. Easeway listeners, we're talking to Kokane, the Easeway radio show right here on easewayradio.com. The Easeway show, that is. This man this work is crazy, man. Just to name a few of them that I caught up with, man. Addictive Hip Hop Music, 1991. Funk Upon a Rhyme, 1994. They Call Me Mr. Kokane, 1999. Mr. Kane Part 2, 2005. Back to the Clap, 2006. Painkillers, 2006. Gimme All Mine, 2010. The Legend Continues, 2012. Shut the F Up and Cut the Check, 2014. Lady Kokane Presents Kokane Love Songs, 2015. King of G-Funk. Listen to that, y'all. 2016. Lady Kokane Presents Kokane Volume 2, 2017 is Kokane, not Lemonhead, 2017. Finger Roll, 2019. Now keep in mind, 2019, we didn't even hit the 2020s yet, right? So this should be no excuse for these young cats to be out here not trying to get with a veteran of yourself. You know, the game is there. It's just a matter of, y'all coming to get it, because a lot of you youngsters are missing people like this from the game, because you're not going to be able to call Dr. Dre. You're not going to be able to touch Dr. Dre or any of those veterans. Some of them dudes are just legends, and they're just in their own, right now they're in their own shell, and they have no motivation to pull cats up right now. To be honest, I mean, you got $1 billion. What can the music industry money do for you right now, right? So my thing is, the worth ethics is there. This man is been through the ups and downs. He found out the niche. You just heard him. He talked about the .com before the .com was .com, telling people to pay attention. But again, he got that from a legend, right? So a lot of people. So what the game is missing is the youngsters listening to the legends because they're not gonna be here forever, right?
Yeah. Let me touch on that, brother. Because I got young ones myself. Me and my wife been together, married 33 years and been together 38. And I have 8 children by that one woman.
Blessing.
So I'm gonna tell y'all from an elder, a big homie, an OG point of view. In life, your attitude determines your altitude. When you're striving for longevity, a lot of people, a lot of companies that broker these different situations, major companies on your streaming and this internet in general, it's a falsified way of personifying yourself as a genuine person. A genuine person will take his time out to give, but only give to the person that has the right attitude. It's sad that a lot of youngsters, very talented, extremely youngsters out there, very like bars, but they get muttered down by the gossip-orientated business that does not have nothing to do with the authenticity of good music, substance. So therefore, my message to all the youngsters, all sperm cells don't get to the egg. All Navy SEALs don't be Navy SEALs. If you're striving for longevity, where your attitude determines your altitude, and you learn from legends that are leading by example, because everybody that's legend or OG, that don't mean they lead by example, and that don't mean they'll give you 5 seconds of their thoughts. They'll be like, fuck off. But real. I'm here to tell you, you can do anything that you put your mind to. It's just that you got to be focused on the right things and ask the questions for people that been around the mountain 3 and 4 times. Moments come and go, like disco, my nigga. Moments come and go, but it's the reason why you talking to E-dawg and Kokane and listening 30-something years later, and we ain't played out. And I'm gonna tell you something. Do you know how hard it is to have longevity? It's much more harder than you think. But the blessing of having longevity, because y'all youngsters will eventually be our age. You're gonna look back years later, and you're not only gonna have the influence for what you did, but the influence on a whole generation. So that's my thing to the youngsters. Shape your attitude, because the internet is perpetuating an order of disrespect. And we wasn't raised out there. My grandmother told if it was 13, 14 gangbangers in the front yard, and Granny said, go ahead and take that shit down the street, we say, yes, Miss Yamini Sule, we'll take it down the street. But now the kids are being taught to say, fuck you, Granny, and shoot Granny in the face. That's not a culture. That's not culture. Whoever told you it's cool to continue to do drugs and promote that shit like that, it's not fresh. Whoever told you to disrespect your elders, who's trying to give you nothing but some game because you think you know it all, because you got a couple of dollars in your pocket and you playing like it's your phone and shit. That's slavery.
That's real.
Get your mind out the motherfucking cotton field,
that's
young
real,
brother. And then you'll start to see with your real third eye. And not everybody gonna listen to it, but if you're fortunate enough to listen to it and then apply it, most importantly, you're gonna see why Nipsey Hussle was building stuff, the computers at 13. You're gonna see why Nipsey Hussle was having tech companies and different other things. And at the same time, we gotta get out of the fact that, hey, if you inspired by your Nipsey Hussle, don't go kill somebody 3 or 4 days later after you had a celebration of something positive that he left. You gotta have that mentality. You gotta have that, hey man, I'ma learn, because that's what made Nip, and I use him as an example because he was so young with much more to come. But what he left in the short duration is the same thing what Eazy-E left, same thing what Tupac left. youngsters, you are our future. Real talk, and this ain't no kumbaya moment. It's some real shit. You are our future. So if anything that you learn from the youngsters, one in particular, Nipsey Hussle, is that one thing he did, he soaked it up. He wasn't afraid to ask questions from legends that led by example and then applied it to his own innovative game. And boom, I gangsta guarantee you, he might be gone in the flesh, but young King
a
Nip
youngster, yeah.
will be remembered for the next 1,000 years.
That's real talk. You just said a lot right there. So we got a minute and 30 seconds. I want to get into this new Kokane song. It's not a Kokane song. It's actually a group album coming out, right?
Yeah, we got a group called We Have Returned. That's a Brother Law and Kokane combined called AOGF, which stands for Architects of G-Funk. And the We Have Returned album, you can only get that at one source, buddyboymusic.com. So if you can, share the link, E-dawg. That'll be a blessing. And y'all know, come to the source, whether it's doing, we got projects. If y'all need me on some shows out here, because I've been 14 years, it's about time to wake up, Northwest. You got a legend in a motherfucking building, you know what I mean?
How do they reach you, real quick? How do they reach you?
Hey, it's simple. You can reach me. You can reach me through my nigga E-dawg. Put it like that.
Hamburger. All right, y'all heard it, man. Kokane right here on the East Way Show. Finally, I've been trying to get this man, and I just been like, man, I want to make this an exclusive interview. It was, what I wanted it to be. That's what time it was, man. And thank y'all for tuning in. We gonna go out with this. What single is this? The Boogeyman?
This is called Boogeyman, the Hollywood Jam. That particular single is on Vivo. You can watch the video, and it's available on all digital platforms. But you got to get the album. We Have Returned at buddyboymusic.com.
Oh, boy. Alberto, if you're from Seattle. All right, y'all.
It burns. Oh, it burns.
We have returned the true essence. Anyone else funking under the G is under false pretense.
You know my pedigree. It's just a G in me. It flows so naturally. You cannot bump with me.
Motherfucker, meet the boogeyman.
I got that remedy. Gangsters, they feeling me. But your phone sound hella weak. You cannot bump with me.
I bring it to you deep. Deeper than the Titanic sunk. Pure unadulterated 100% G-funk. I don't give a fuck over these years who you been following. How many nuts and balls are theirs you been swallowing? I don't chase the cat, I ain't atomic dog. I'm the type of nigga, big booty, control the yard. My freestyle is worth 100 bricks plus 100 elbows. Tell me when you need me to press go. I'm a hustler getting money, run deep in my veins. You a buster chasing your tail and running with lanes. Your feelings full like Chris Rock getting slapped by Will Smith. And you a different type of weenie if you get banged on by Fresh Prince. I just come from a different type of environment. Suckers get rolled up for thinking that they can try me. I still big stoked with the heat in my hand. It's cool. 187, aka the Boogeyman.
You know my pedigree. It's just a G in me. It flows so naturally. You cannot bump with me.
Motherfucker, meet the Boogeyman.
I got that remedy. Gangsters, they feeling me. But your phone sound hella weak. You cannot bump with me.
Motherfucker, meet the Boogeyman. The flow so sick, paranormal shit. Riding on these niggas like John Wick. We make music for the G's up in them trenches. We in the game while you other niggas warming up the benches. We like Shaggy, Kobe, Kareem and Magic. Bustin' sporadic, we hit them hard, collateral damage. The coldest that ever did it, admitted I envision a vision. A high 11 niggas stayed on a mission, pay close attention. We them niggas, bang out the truck. We from the land where we known to put the G in the font. I'm from the POMONACOUNTYLA. We outside now, which one of y'all wanna play? Keep the 6'4", hopping like a kangaroo, floating like a nigga off Gorilla Glove. Now there's a lot of niggas fucking, but this shit sound bland. It's Dr. Kokane with Black Superman.